Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. Welcome to Luxe Life Discovered. My guest today is Dennis Holland. So, Dennis, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it.
We're here to talk about the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. So, kind of give us a brief overview of what that is exactly.
So it was a gentleman that out of Sydney, Australia, that started it back in 2012, I believe. And he kind of got the idea of riding either classic motorcycles or scooters or anything classic. I got the idea from a mad man. Remember that series,
Yes,
Mad
yeah,
Men? So he got the idea from that, dressed up nice and riding a
right,
motorcycle. So he thought, well, the number two cause of cancer is prostate cancer for men. So he decided to make this ride and call it the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. So he does it for prostate cancer and men's health. So uh, it's a fantastic cause, and it has grown so big since 2012. They've raised over $60 million
yeah,
for men's health. And there's a lot of sponsors. Triumph is one of the big sponsors. So is Movember, which is a big men's charity
right.
event. So
So that's interesting because you do ride in the classic styles. I mean, you don't have to have all classic, but that's
you
preferred.
don't have to.
Yeah,
It's,
and
they ask you to, but
yeah,
I think if you're riding for a cause, if you're riding for something like men's health, then all the money goes to men's health
yeah,
too. So um, it's a great cause, and I've kind of taken a cue to go get myself checked out this month. So I'm although I talk the talk, I try to walk the walk as well.
right.
So
So now, you're the one that's spearheading this local
this is Santa
event,
Rosa Beach one.
and it will be made,
It's May 16th, I
okay,
think. Yeah,
and then,
it's a Sunday. It's always on a Sunday. It's May
all right,
7th. Sorry, it's May 17th.
May 17th, okay, and this will be the second annual here,
This will be the second one, right?
okay. So how was it last year? How participation wise and that
Last
type of
year
thing?
was my first year. So before that, the couple of years before that, I had ridden in the Pensacola one. I had ridden in the Mobile, Alabama one,
Okay,
and it was fantastic. A lot of good guys. They get together and you post your bike and stuff on the gentleman's website, what you ride and how much money you raised, and it's a good little platform to do that. So I thought the last one I rode was Pensacola, and I thought, well, 60% of the riders in Pensacola, nothing against Pensacola because it was a fantastic ride. Uh, 60% of them I thought were from this area. Panama City doesn't have one, Destin doesn't have one. And I thought, well, I live in Santa Rosa Beach and I want to ride in one. So I'll reach out to the guys at Distinguished Gentleman's Ride
yeah,
and see if I can't host that. And they said, yeah, absolutely. So last year was my first. I had about 15, 20 riders.
okay,
We started at the View on 38 and we ended up at Grand Avenue.
okay,
Yeah.
right. Wow. So it's an impressive event and very stylish, like you said, because of the way you're supposed to dress and the vintage motorcycles. But what a great cause to bring attention to all of that at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was reading on the website too. It asked if you had to be a man to be in this,
Absolutely not.
but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely not. But it's the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, and that's the way it's going to be classified.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
So
like the Susan G. Komen race for the
right,
cure.
right.
There's men that run in that. It's because that's for a good cause as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So what piqued your interest originally?
uh,
Because I mean, with this being, I didn't realize that Pensacola and Mobile had
mhm,
this also. Because most of what I've researched, it's really big internationally.
it is
So that's
110 countries actually.
wow. Okay.
Um, and I had a guy from Miami that said that he wanted to come up here for the Santa Rosa Beach one because we're friends. We ride together. And I said, well, Miami has one, and he goes, yeah, I know, and it's a pretty big one too. They've been
I'll
doing it for a
bet.
while. So, but I'm getting a lot of people from outside this area that just want to come and make this an event. I would like to see it. Um, it happens early in the morning and it's a slow ride. It's kind of almost a parade ride. You don't really go over 40 miles an hour. You're not supposed to. And then end up in that area. The destination is not quite sure yet. And they don't really like to say it because they want people to sign up on the website instead of just joining the ride.
Right, right.
So they really don't say where it is yet, and they don't want me to. So I think I would like to have like an afterwards party or maybe somebody to sponsor a rider, and then have that rider's name on there and do a after hours party and maybe Shades or one of those 30 Avenue restaurants,
Right.
or even in that green area in the front there,
Yeah.
depending on the sponsors I get.
Yeah, the 38th Avenue, that little green
Yeah.
lawn area, that would be good. Maybe a band playing on the little.
I've played bocce ball there
Yeah.
before, and it's a good little site for a venue because if you can end up there and choose whatever restaurant you want to go to.
Right, right.
So,
And still have a place to sit and relax
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
enjoy everything.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, how's the response been?
it's been really good. Like I say, it doesn't really kick off for another 39, 38 days before you can actually sign up on the website, the
Right.
Distinguished Gentleman's Ride website. But this response is great. I just had a guy call me from Sarasota today. He's like an old roommate that used to live in Chicago. And he says, I want to ride. I said, well, I'm riding at the end of this month. He goes, no. I'm talking about the gentleman's ride. I said, okay. And he sold his bike, unfortunately, and I have an extra bike that he can ride. So he's looking forward to that.
All right. So, what kind of bikes do you have?
So I have a Triumph Bobber TFC.
Okay.
So my uncle had one when he was a kid that I kind of really looked up to him. He was in the military, and he was just kind of a guy's guy, and that's what he rode. And so to kind of pay homage to him, I wanted to get the same bike, but I wanted a newer bike, but it's a classic, it's a classic retro style bike.
Yeah.
So
Wow. So, the guy that started this in Australia, of course, he said he got it from a Mad Men episode, but that's pretty impressive that you could take something like that
Yeah.
and then bring it to life.
Yeah.
Because especially with the style of bikes that he has and the dress code for this. Yeah.
And that's kind of the fun part of it as well. I've seen so many, like last year I wore a vest and a tweed jacket with, they're not called knickers. They're, can't remember the name of them.
But I knew what you were going to say.
Yeah, right, with
So,
with the socks. Because I've got
riding pants. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got kilts and stuff from when I used to live in Europe. So I've got all that stuff. I wouldn't ride with a kilt, even though I'm not going that fast. I have seen guys in Europe that ride with kilts. I am not really quite there, but so
You don't think people around here are ready for that? Huh?
yeah, but I bow tie, and a lot of guys wear a bow tie, ascots, classic riding caps and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun.
Have you seen one of these rides overseas?
I have not, just on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, there's thousands and tens of thousands of videos in the different cities where people just post their rides, and they've got some great photography work too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I need to find a good photographer that has a drone and can film this ride. It's supposed to be kind of like a parade style where they want you to go to the heart of the city and have people on the side, kind of cheering you on.
Right.
But maybe someday we'll get there.
Well, you will. You will. Already getting good interest in it.
I do,
So,
yeah.
And like you said, it's 38, 39 more days before registration.
Before you can register,
Yeah.
and then it's May, what did I say, 17th?
17th. Yeah. So, what would you like to see this? How big would you like to see this be in Santa Rosa Beach?
I don't know if it has to be that big because we're not a big area. I just kind of like to see the same people year after year. It's not a rowdy ride. It's not a speed demon ride. It's just people dressing up and supporting the cause and making awareness of the cause, and just having fun. Just people that have like old Vespas or old classic rides that they can't ride any other ride but this. But it would be good because they can ride. And the really cool thing I thought about the Pensacola ride, they had a police escort, which was so cool. I talked to a couple of sheriffs here, and they don't have motorcycles here. They think they're going to get them, and I hope they do. But that would be neat because the one in Pensacola was really, really cool.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, they need some motorcycle policemen here.
And they had one police car and two motorcycles. So the police car was pulling up the rear, and then the two motorcycles were stopping traffic. And then the one guy would speed up and go ahead, and then they would flip flop like that. But it was pretty neat. I think the cops were having more fun than the
Probably
riders
so,
were.
yeah. Well, they've got the comrades behind them.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so that makes a difference, yeah. So then I also noticed on the website too that even if you don't physically ride, you can still help raise money for this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting because not every time you can do that. So
And
yeah,
I've raised almost $3,000 since the last couple of rides that I've been in, just for people just wanting to sponsor me. You
Yeah.
know, they get on and you send them a little email with a link, say this is what I'm riding, this is the cause I'm riding for, and you know the response has been overwhelming. They just whether it's $10 or $20 or one guy did 1,000.
wow, that's
I
good.
know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and this goes to prostate cancer and then also
Men's
mental health.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Mental health and men's prostate cancer.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. So two great causes, and does it stay locally? Percentage of it stay locally, or how's that
That I
work?
don't think so, but
Okay.
I think the money filters in through Movember and head and helmets and other causes that they do. Um, so I don't believe it stays locally.
Okay.
Um, it should though.
But it
That's a
all
good
goes
question.
to research and
It does.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is huge. And men overlook that
Yeah.
more than anything else
They
because
do.
their tendency is like, well, that's not going to happen to me. It's happening to somebody else, and I'm invincible. So not
I've had
to
it
worry
done
about
once, and it's not really a big deal. It came back clean, but that was 10 years ago. So my doctor's like, yeah, I
Do it
think it's
again.
time for you to have some more fun. I'm like, all
I
right.
like the way you
So,
phrase that. Have some more fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my wife's tightening the screws on the other end, so I was like, okay, honey,
Oh yeah.
I'll get
They
it
never
done.
let up, do they?
No,
No.
but
Gosh.
if it wasn't for them, I'd probably not be
Right.
in decent shape that I am today.
That's true, and they go through so much that
Yeah, yeah.
So, but well, that so May 17th. So where you say you'll start at 30 or
Well,
Venus?
that's
Or we don't know that
I
for
don't
sure
know
yet.
that yet. I would like to start. I'd like to start at one of the restaurants in Grand Boulevard because they have a lot of space, and even that back lot, we can set up there because there's plenty of room back there,
Right.
and then just start from there, and possibly get a police escort to go down 98 because that can get crazy,
Yeah,
even going
especially
to
in May,
38.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and then jump on 38 and then go down to and end up in Rosemary and Inlet Beach
Yeah,
at 30 Avenue.
that would be good.
Yeah.
So, of the bikes last year that participated, what were some of the unique bikes? Because that's going to be as much fun as the ride itself as seeing the different type vintage motorcycles and the different types of motorcycles.
So my buddy Rick bought his wife a Vespa, and it's a cool, classic looking Vespa, and he brought it, but then he's got a Harley, and he actually had an old BMW, like a 1962 or something. He sold that, but it would have been cool if he'd have rode that. But he got his Vespa, and he goes, "Nah, I want to get my Harley." So he rode his Vespa back home, grabbed his Harley.
No way.
And
So-
yeah, 'cause we lives pretty close by. So the most of the bikes I think were Triumphs, since they're a big sponsor and they're kind of a retro style bike.
Okay.
I have a Triumph. I also have a Harley, and but like I say, it's more for the cause
Right,
than
right.
than the bike. In some of those bikes, I've got a buddy that's got a chopper as well, and there is a segment that you can ride choppers there, and that's kind of one of the retro bikes. And
Okay.
they get dressed up in suits, and it is kind of hot in May. I
Oh,
will
yeah.
say, especially down here. I know other parts of the country it's not that hot, so they really, get dressed up. But down here, I might not wear a jacket this year. Maybe just a vest and a bow tie. And,
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it's fun watching some of the videos from like over in Italy. I think was that big one or
Oh, the Rome one, that
yeah,
one
the
I
Rome,
sent you.
Rome.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes.
was a huge one.
That was huge. Yeah, and
Huge, yeah.
all the different motorcycles, the way everybody was dressed, male and female,
I
and
know.
just the whole attitude around it. There
It's
was
just a
energy.
camaraderie and,
Yeah.
and everybody that wants to shoot toward the same goal and dress up, and it's just a lot of fun.
So when you did you contact the gentleman's group directly, or did you contact the people in Destin or
No, I
Pensacola?
contacted the gentleman's group directly.
Okay.
And then they reached out to me and had to do a background check
Yeah.
and a lot of stuff, which that's a good thing. And they said, yeah, where are you going to start? Where are you going to end? And there's a lot of legality things. You need to have a first aid station. You need to have people along the way to direct traffic if you have a lot of twists and turns. Which on this ride, there's not any twist. You go down to 30A and then you end at 30A.
Right.
So it's just one straight shot. But yeah, they've got their organization together. Good
Well,
group of guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to know about it because I did not know about it until this. And then I knew about, Johnny told me about knowing you and what you did. And then once I researched it, then I found out it goes to some great causes
Yeah.
as well for men's health. Yeah.
It does. I'm really looking forward to it this year. I'd like to get my wife to ride. She's not a motorcycle rider, but it would be fun to see her ride. I thought maybe I could get a sidecar on my bobber so she could ride along with. We have a little dog, a little Cocker Spaniel, Charlie. So it would be fun for. And I've seen dogs, and I've seen all kinds of.
Yeah, there's
people
some
ride.
videos of dogs, and they got the dogs
dressed up
yes,
with the helmets
goggles.
and the little goggles, and it's cute.
My wife is not. She doesn't like to get her hair messed up, and she doesn't really like to be in the wind. But she wants a motorcycle for some reason.
Oh, really?
Which I think is crazy because it's so unlike her personality. And then she's like, "Yeah, we could get a sidecar and you could ride in it." I'm thinking she'll take me out at the first tree or pole. She's got a plan. That's what I think. She has a plan in mind. But no, she always jokes about
They're a lot
that.
of fun. I mean, it's just the wind. I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of bad characters in the motorcycle world, but people weaving in and out of traffic. I'm too old to die too soon. I try to keep it on the speed limit and do the right thing. But I think it's pretty safe if you do the right thing. And
right. Oh, there's some that just think they're invincible, and they're
know.
like you're talking about those that weave in and out, and you're just like hoping you don't see them a few miles down the road. Something happened to them because they're so dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, like the Harley riders. They have their own culture. They've been around since 1903. So, but then Triumph's been around since 1902, and
So I
they
didn't
kind
realize
of
that.
have their own distinguished. You got Richard Gere, you got Brad Pitt that's on a motorcycle. Steve McQueen's a big Triumph rider, or was, and all those guys are your Clark Gables of the.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your poster there of that classic era.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, that's going to be interesting. So May 17th, I'm gonna have to make sure I come and see part
absolutely.
of that. Yeah, because that would be great. And like I said, make sure you watch the YouTube channels. Go to Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. Tons of YouTube channels that you could, or videos on YouTube that you can see, and how massive these rides are in other countries. And
Oh,
so,
my goodness, they
how
are.
big is the one in Pensacola?
The one in Pensacola, the last one I rode was the year before last, and I think there were possibly 35 to 40 riders.
Okay, and that's quite a few. Yeah,
that's a few. I mean, like Nashville and some of those bigger areas, and they have 200 riders or 100 riders. Yeah.
That's going together for a great cause. So that's
It is, and it's a lot of fun when you're doing it too. So it's you're not trying to pass everybody, and just trying to ride and have a good time, and just enjoy the other riders and meet new people.
Right. And second year, that's gonna you keep generating interest. So that's what it's all about, keeping that interest going.
So last year was about 15 riders I had. So this year I'm kind of shooting a goal for 30 to 50.
Okay.
So
how big a percentage were Triumph riders last year?
I would say Triumph riders last year were probably 45%, 50%.
Because do we have a Triumph dealer in this area?
We don't, and that's the
that's,
thing.
That's why I was
have
trying
to
to
take my bike to Pensacola.
Pensacola, okay,
Yeah.
So
So D&D out of Pensacola is the Triumph dealership, and they were this big sponsors of the Gentleman's Ride in Pensacola. They were. I don't think they are anymore, but they're the worldwide sponsor with Movember and Head and Helmets, which is out of London, Elf, and other smaller ones, but they're all worldwide sponsors.
So at the end, when you're doing your after party, is there a place that people can come see all the bikes and see?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping. I was hoping to get together with a group like Shades,
right.
which is a perfect venue for that. So
And
there's
you're
going
right
to be
there
a
off
new
of
one.
38,
Yeah.
so it's just easy access.
So hopefully I'll get in touch with those guys and start at Shades and end up at Shades, and
just make a loop 98, 30A, and then come back, or
well, you just go there, and then I guess you disperse once you get there. It's only one way.
okay. All
So
right,
they
that's what
only
you're saying.
want to have it. The ride should be between 20 and 25 miles, and that's about what that is between Grand Boulevard and the end of 30A is about 25 miles.
Okay, all right.
And so I think if it would be good if we could get some kind of sponsor or some kind of discount for if you're a gentleman's ride, that would be good for Shades. I haven't contacted them yet. Oh, I sent them an email, but I need to really go in there and really.
Right. That personal contact on
I
something
know.
like this is, yeah. So
It is.
who was your main sponsor last year?
The View sponsored me, and that was kind of it because we had it there. And my wife and some other ladies picked up some donuts from Heirloom Donuts, and we had donuts there in the beginning, and we all kind of sat around and had coffee, and so the View was kind of our biggest sponsor. Plus a lot of other individual people they donated money for
Right. Okay.
to put it together.
Well, good. So May 17th. I won't say 20th. May 17th. Yeah.
Because it's different. It's the third Sunday in May. So it's the same ride all around the world. It's the same date all around the world, and it changes sometimes. One time it was on my wife's birthday, which is the 23rd, and she goes, "I'm not going to the gentleman's ride. We're going someplace on my birthday." And I'm like, "Fair enough, fair enough."
Right. So she's like, "There's certain days. Yeah, that's not the day." No, that's good. Well, so we're going to put your information on the screen
Okay.
because I want to make sure that people know how to reach you. And then also, like I said, registration's open like 38, 39 days.
Yeah.
But they can follow you. And then they can also go to Gentleman's Ride. Just Google that and Distinguished Gentleman's Ride.
Distinguished
And
Gentleman's Ride.
find out more information about the race itself. But is there a local link that you'll have? Or will it be
Just
through
on
that
Facebook.
site?
There's a Facebook site that they keep the Gentleman's Ride kind of keep those things kind of close knit. So I'll put that up there when we can start registering again. I'll put the
Okay.
Facebook post
All
back
right.
up there.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, they've have it pretty tight-lipped and organized, don't they?
They do. I think they just want to control the people that are there, and then
Right.
just to make sure a bad actor might not be doing it on the
Right.
side to raise money for
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand that. So I'll have a Facebook link because there's a lot of riders last year that they absolutely loved it, and they said, we were hoping there was one in the area, and I'm glad you put it together. So they're going to obviously ride again.
Yeah.
Hopefully if they can. So there's a good group of people last year.
Well, good.
Yeah.
And I guess you've already reached out to them to let them know about the date.
I have.
So,
I have. Yeah.
Well, good. And then once you have the graphic for it, we'll put it on our
Okay.
Luxe Life Discovered social media
Yeah.
so that people can look at that and have the link there directly also.
Cool.
All right, good deal. Well, thank you for being with us
Yeah.
today. I appreciate it very much. Nice to meet you, and
Nice
nice
meeting
to
you
know
as well.
about this great cause and the two great, well, especially prostate cancer, but also the mental health and men's health that all benefits from this. So,
Like if anybody has any kind of questions whatsoever, just my email's right there, so
Okay.
they can reach out to me, and I respond pretty quickly.
all right, that sounds
All
good.
right.
That's always good to respond.
Yeah, it is.
I got some people I've reached out to for some key things coming up and haven't heard from them. So yeah, throw that out there too. Yeah, but no, thank you for joining us for Luxe Life Discovered. We will see you soon.
Check out Luxe Life Discovered on Facebook and Instagram and on 30a.tv. See you next time on Luxe Life Discovered.